You are really good at this game for someone who doesn't have any hands. Mm. Ah, no! Crap. I guess that means you win again. I don't. It doesn't make any sense. Tell me your secrets. Tell me now! Hello, everybody. This is episode 2 of Build a Bard Workshop. Today we are going to be talking to Michael Cienfuegos Baca, who will be telling us a little bit about set design and his process when he's approaching a new play.
What's up, nerds? My name is Michael Cienfuegos Baca. I'm an actor and scenographer, and currently the technical director for Voices Found Repertory. My theater journey started in 7th grade choir with High School Musical, moved on to high school where I discovered plays and performance, and I pursued acting at Marquette University here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. While at Marquette, I discovered a secondary passion of design, and that led me to VFR, who called me up in season 1 when they needed a last-minute soundboard operator for their production of Richard III, and I answered the phone. By the end of season 1, I performed in 1 show. By the end of season 2, I designed a set for them. They made me their in-house set designer, and I have designed every set since, and I look forward to many, many more seasons. But enough about me. We're here for Build a Bard. This week on Build a Bard, guys, we're going to be focusing on sets and design concept. Let's start with the big one first, design concept. What is it? Concept is the overall visual and audio experience that we as designers give the audience in any given production. It takes all the elements of any production, from performance to design to media to marketing, all of it, funnels it through this concept to strengthen the themes and motifs of the show. We want to make sure that we're delivering the message and the meaning to the audience in the strongest way possible. Concepts can change and vary, as you can see the 5 productions of Hamlet before you, with 5 very different concepts, all were chosen to strengthen the message of Hamlet. It's great to see that you can go from a minimalist design to a high technical design, but all of them are there to strengthen the written word of Shakespeare. So what wonderful design concept has our fearless leader chosen for our production of Hamlet? Well, let's take a look at the designer's brief right here. This place says, until we decide who we are and what matters to us, we will be bound to what those in power say we are. True, very true. This is a world where cowardice is not just shameful, it's deadly. Welcome to Denmark. The year is 866. Men and women of courage, guts, and action are honored and welcomed into Valhalla. Here, valor is more than a virtue, it's a birthright. These proud sacred traditions are more than just a code. It is the blood in their veins, the connection to the gods. To attain his honor is not just a part of him, it is the most sacred part of him. This play is about a young prince who, after discovering the murder of his father, grapples with the responsibility of avenging him until self-inflicted complications cost him his life and the lives of countless others. Sarah's tone goal for this production is, I want the audience to feel devastated. If for you VFR fans out there, you know this is VFR's bread and butter. We are very well equipped for good place for blood squibs, and over aggressive fight choreography is right in our wheelhouse. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. As the set designer, I want to tell you my initial steps to approaching any production. So my first step is the same as Sarah's. Read the play in exactly the same way that she said. No pens, no markers, no notebooks, no note taking of any kind. Sit down and enjoy the show, enjoy the script, enjoy the story that you now get to be a part of. You want to understand everything from beginning to finish. So there's no one, you need to know the story. But two, you want to make sure that nothing's hidden down the line. So all of a sudden, when your director says, hey, what about the bed? You go, the bed. There was a bed. I'll get right on that. You'd rather have that conversation in week one or not at all rather than a week before you open. So after you read the play, then you're going to take a look at the script in full. You're going to find every technical element that it even mentions. You want to make sure that you know all of it. As a set designer, things may not directly apply to you, such as the example of a hat and a cane. Well, as set designer, I'm not going to make a hat or a cane, but if there needs to be some place to put that hat on or put that cane in, then yes, I do need to create something, find something, produce something that is that. So in a way, it does involve me. It's my job to make sure that there's all those elements there, and those discussions will happen during the production process. So now that I have a list of everything that I need to create, I get a sense how I want to create. You're wanting to find all those elements in the script as needs because they're things that the actual script said. Now, this is what the actor says. This is what the playwright says. This is what the director said in the forward, maybe even the stage manager in italics from a previous production. All these elements have been used to tell the story before, and you get to decide what is needed to tell it now and what are you going to have more artistic liberties in. Set designing is like building a puzzle with interchangeable pieces. You got to find where those corners are first. What's needed? Most of the time, that's a throne, a bed, a wardrobe, an entranceway that helps establish setting, time period, and brings the audience into the way of the world. So now, once you have what you need to design, you get to do one of the most important things that every designer gets to do. Research. We have to research everything, guys. Now that we have our concept, now that it's Vikings, we have Viking theme, we have 866 time period, we can begin looking right at the beginning where our director provided us her research. We go and do our own through museums, media, artistic paintings and historical research, modern influences. And yes, going to the library and looking through those textbooks to find exactly what you need for your show. You're wanting to go through this to be able to answer any problem or any question that comes your way. If you need something on stage, it can't just be, if you need a chair, for example, on stage, it can't just be a chair, but it needs to be Viking in the time period. Who owns it? Was it the king? Is it a throne? Is it a peasant stool? There's so many questions, and you want to be able to go back to your research to answer those questions so you can keep moving artistically on your design and not being held up every time you need to choose a new element to put on stage. Now, for my initial steps as a designer, I do a lot of this research to find inspiration, to find a muse of some variety. For me, when I was doing my research here for Vikings, I found their wonderful structures. I was doing architectural research to determine what sort of set I was wanting to build. And through my research, I found that they have these beautiful long beams, huge tree trunks in very rigid geometrical shapes and design. These shapes, tried, tested, and true. You can tell generation after generation helped build these houses, and they'll be around for a long time to come. I took that inspiration, those visuals, and applied it to Sarah's statements from the previous video. Check the link down below to go watch our directing video there. One of the statements that Sarah said was getting lost in a maze of his own design. And I think that speaks to Hamlet, it speaks to Claudius, Laertes, Ophelia, Gertrude. Everyone's world is coming crashing down in a world that's meant to have these rigid structures and traditions. So my inspiration that I went off of that was wanting to show how those structures visually, when they go from rigid and precise something falls. The king died. Uncle may have caused the murder. Gertrude married uncle. All those problems are arising. And that scaffolding could be represented in physical structure. Now, this is a small little model. As a designer, it is my job to show the director exactly what I'm thinking through models, through sketches, through anything that I can to show what's going on in my mind's eye so the director can say, yes, that's awesome, move forward, or ooh, let's take another look at that. My idea, as I said before, for this structure is to show how these beams are going in all jagged directions, no order, complete chaos. Where there was once order and justice, there is now disorder and chaos. I think this would be an excellent opportunity for others designers to get involved and have a lot of fun in this playground. You could have the lighting designer could have a lot of fun shooting beams of light up into the rafters, creating chaotic images above, or even from lightings from up above to show those same images down below on the stage floor, showing different moments in the show, different locations, or even just developing and growing, showing how that chaos is developing throughout the whole show. Now I love giving actors or even other designers tons of room to play. So as I said with that lighting, I think it would be such a beautiful imagery, all of those streaks of light to really show the discord within the mind of the characters visually for the audience to see. Now, a lot of these are really my initial concepts, my initial designs. These can come and go, change and develop. Most of the time, as a designer, you'll find that your initial design is not the direction you're end up going, but it's going to be inspiration that'll then influence something later down the line. It could be something as simple as flipping that. This is now set in the background for actors to climb and move around. Who knows? All art comes in theater, all artists come together to create the overall production. It is a team effort. I hope I gave you a little bit of an insight of my initial steps to that team effort. As a set designer, it's my job to find what's needed, to find those areas to play with, and to create worlds to bring the audience into. Thanks for joining me today, guys. Now, if you're wanting to see our previous videos, please click over here where you'll find Sarah's directing video talking about her initial steps to a given production. Or if you'd like to check out our YouTube page and subscribe to this series, please click over here. Go into both those areas. Please comment, like, subscribe, share this with your friends. Also, folks, if you're wanting to see more videos from myself, from Sarah, please let us know what you think of the video, what you'd like to see in the future, what you think of this series, and maybe we'll adjust it and change as we go along. The audience is just as important as any element of theater, and we want you to be a part of this as much as we are. So please go check us out, guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.